Hey everybody, welcome back to the Reaction Squad Podcast, Season 4, Episode 10. We got our guest here, Batinthesun, aka Aaron, or whatever way you want to explain it. We got Ivan, obviously, with me as always, and Richard Core Kenobi. How's everyone doing now with the whole chill, whatever you want to call it?
I'm good.
Good, yeah. Just working.
That's
exactly. Pretty much good on my end, too.
Busy.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we all have to do lately. Just keep our mind busy, but it's Gucci.
Okay. As you can all see, we're all adapting to our surroundings naturally. So you have to excuse the way that some of us are coming off on the camera here as we do this. So basically what we do here is we get guests on our show from time to time, and we like to ask them some questions and also give the viewers a chance to ask questions themselves if we can squeeze it all in. So
cool. Ask away. I am here to be asked.
Yeah. So I mean, we could jump right into the questions. We can ask. I guess the first question is what, like right now for projects, what you got going on right now? I mean, I think it's kind of cool, to kind of hear and see everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're working on 3 projects at the moment. Mainly 3 projects. We have our animated beatdown, which is the Dragon Zord vs. Godzilla. We're working on that. That comes out in June. We're looking, and then we have Batman Dying is Easy. We just did a crowdfunding Indiegogo for that, and raised $40,000, and that'll be a psychological thriller between Batman and Joker. I'll be Joker, of course.
Nice.
And then we're doing a White Dragon with JDF, which is we just raised a Kickstarter on that, and we raised $140,000, but we still have another 45 days to go on that. So we're hoping to get close to $250,000 to make it a pretty epic series.
Yeah. So how is it working with Jason David Frank? By the way, for those
great.
It's the White Ranger, Green Ranger from Power Rangers, in case you didn't catch the little quick plug-in he said there. So it's great.
Yeah,
okay.
Jason's great. I've known Jason for 6 years. Talk to him almost every day. He's like family. And we have the same, goal, create something really awesome for the fans. And we try to really hone in to what the fans want,
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, he's just really fan oriented, which is really rare when you work with celebrities. A lot of them act like they are in front of the curtain, but behind the curtain, they're like very different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that kind of person. But Jason's really, he's canceled flights before to meet fans. When he goes to a convention and his line's so long, he'll push flights, he'll book another night at the hotel. He does all these things. So
that's awesome.
He's really, really fan oriented. So I'm always surprised if someone isn't immediately like, I can see why he's the most celebrated, biggest, Power Ranger. And I'm always surprised when people don't find him to be, just because he's such a nice guy who's there for the fans. He's doing this project. He's not getting paid for it. He's just doing it. We've put in our own money to create all these pre videos and all this kind of pre-design. So it's just, he's really cool to work with and a really good fighter too, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he's no joke. No,
Dude,
he's like legit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
He's a badass.
I've watched his MMA back when I was a kid, and he was definitely my hero and stuff like that too growing up, man. Dude's legit.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
I was just talking with him before we hopped on this podcast. Actually, we're going over casting for White Dragon. So
Cool.
Nice.
That's sick.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've some other people have said though the best one word to describe him is humble. Like he is that like Kendrick Lamar song, just to a T. Well, not the song, but the word. That whole humble thing. Like he is so. I remember he met Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it didn't go well. Like that was his hero, and I obviously kind of the way I interpret it is like the way he was treated. He's like, I will, with my responsibility, right? Like my privilege of being popular, I will never do what he did. He was so let down, but I'm glad that he didn't become that. I think that's beautiful. When I seen him say that, and I was just like, man, I got my eyes sweating when he was explaining that story. Man, it got me a little bit there. So
well, one word I've always wanted to I've always described Jason as this. When I had a Power Rangers essay that I canceled back then, when I got to Jason, I just summed him up as the real life Superman because he's a kind and well-rounded man who really does care about people, big or small, no matter if you're a Power Rangers fan or if you're not. He's really just a cool guy.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, in my case, like I never watched too many Power Rangers growing up. I've seen like a few episodes here and there, but
How dare you?
Jason. I watched enough of it to know, but still, but like,
Okay.
I pretty much agree. Like he seems like a really cool guy. Like I follow him on his YouTube channel. He talks about the fans or whatever, that some projects he's doing, like his certain like keeping doing martial arts or whatever. And yeah, he seems like real legit guy. Like it's honestly it must be an absolute honor to be able to work with him. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
It's super cool. I was a Power Ranger fan as a kid too, so it's been very cool.
that's awesome. Yeah, I only met him once too. It was very brief and quick. You know how it is. They kind of
Yeah.
shove you through, and I remember he would even tell the security people like back off, like yo.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
cool.
they were like trying to like direct us, but he would actually defend the fans when you meet him. So yeah, like it there was that our Galaxy Con. So okay.
I hope I can meet him someday. I had the opportunity to, but the fans were just in a huge line that I unfortunately didn't have the time to be a part of. But
Yeah.
I really do like on how he just gives out this positive spirit whenever he's at a convention.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to get my unopened Green Ranger Dragonzord toy I bought back in the 90s. I never opened it as a kid. I kept it. It's in my display. I'm my 9,000 special subscriber. If you guys look at my hutch, that's in there. You can see it. I want to bring it to him and have him sign it. That was like one of my unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to make that happen. So it didn't work out because of the whole, I don't know. This happened and it is what it is. So yeah, as far as that goes, I guess we'll go back to the Sun. So is Joker your favorite character or overall, or did you just kind of just fill the role randomly one day as far as the whole channel goes? Like, what's up? Like, I know I don't get me wrong. My opinion, I think you're like, even big screen, you should be the next Joker. Like,
I agree.
No doubt. You got the dimples and that smile you do and everything. Right now, you're not all like ready for it, right? To flex, but like you got it, and I'm sure you hear it a lot. And it's not ass kissing; it's just real talk. So,
I agree, man. Your Joker performance.
Is it somebody that you always kind of like you love Batman a lot and Joker, or is it just one day someone's like, okay, we need a Joker, and you're like, okay, and then everyone around you went, whoa, you nailed it. Like, how did that happen?
Well, Batman's my favorite character, followed by Superman. I like the old-fashioned kind of superhero mentality. So Christopher Reeve as Superman is my favorite thing.
Okay.
And Joker's my favorite villain. I like psychological villains. Joker's always been a favorite. I made a film on the Joker back in like 2003, a long time ago, that just kind of studied his psychosis. And then we were doing this video. I've always known that I'm like a face contortionist. I just have a lot of like movement on my face. I have a weirdly muscular, structured face, I guess. And we were going to do a Joker video, and we had this actor come in, and he couldn't make it. So I was like, I'll do it. I can probably do the Joker. And because I was like, I can do facial stuff. And so I did it, and then everyone, like, it was this big response that everyone really, really liked it. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. So I don't really think too highly of sometimes of myself as an actor. And it's something I've been in TV shows. I was in Deadliest Warrior. I have another TV show coming out next year now because of the whole Corona thing. But
you were in Deadliest Warrior.
Huh?
No, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Deadliest Warrior, that was on Spike TV back in the day.
Deadliest Warrior. I watched that.
Yeah, did you see the episode with the pirate versus the knight? You see the pirate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the pirate. I was the pirate.
Oh, that was you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, that's
it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
I used to watch that for like I watched
show.
them all, but my brain is so. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That's
Continue.
sick.
That's cool. I'm definitely gonna go watch it now. I'm gonna go catch it after this.
I apologize.
Yeah, I think it's on iTunes or something. That's out there. But so that was fun, and then but doing Jokers, then I had to work on the voice, to get my own kind of sound with the way that he. Joker has a real strange voice, but then with the makeup and do all the different things, but Yeah, it's a fun character to just slide into every now and then. So it's not too bad.
That's awesome.
But Kevin, it's great because I get to work with Kevin.
Yes.
And he's like, in my opinion, the best Batman and stuff like that.
Yeah. As far as internet Batman goes, he's the best internet online Batman I've ever seen, and I
he's
saw
the best
City of Stars.
Internet Joker.
Well, actually, that led into my question, Aaron, because when you became the Joker, did you go back to City of Scars and look at Paul's performance and really get a feeling on how you would now portray this character? Like, was there anything that you looked at when you now had to take on this iconic role?
Well, firstly, I think Kevin's the best Batman, regardless, not just on the internet. But he's got a better voice than any of the live-action Batmans.
Yes.
And he's bigger and more muscular with a stronger jaw.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, 90s Batmans to me, I just.
Yeah. I think Ben's great. And I think Keaton's great. I'm not a big fan of Bale, but they're all great actors. Anyways, Paul's Joker in City of Scars and Patient J. I like Paul's Joker a lot. I think Paul's Joker only because I get to be on set. I just have a different viewpoint. I get to be on set with Paul, and I think Paul's Joker is very creepy. Paul's is a big guy too. He's 6'4" and he's lanky but muscular, and he just has a presence about him. But then a lot of the influence from that is since I directed him, I have this vision of how I feel Joker should be, and that's what kind of comes through. Not to take away from his acting, because acting I really, really enjoy, but I just used the same vision that I applied from that onto this. So now I'm just kind of like only directing myself in my brain, and then I have my father on set to help me direct, because being in front of the camera and behind it is kind of tricky. And Joker's such a strange character because he's so over the top that sometimes you kind of lose where you're at in terms of your acting. Like it can be so ridiculous. Like, see, I do the voice here, and I'll do all these facial movements here, like in a room, and it's very normal. And then you go like, that seems way over the top. That seems crazy, like bad acting or whatever. And then you'll put it in that scenario where you're in Arkham and you have all this very gothic, and then Batman's dressed the way that he is. And then you're like, actually, you're not over the top enough because everything else is so elevated. So it's interesting, but I like Joker to come across really scary and theatrical, which I don't. I think Jack Nicholson probably got the closest to that. Heath and Jared Leto and Joaquin are very much not the Joker in the comics. All enjoyable, but not what we've come to kind of grow up and like. So and then I usually lose a lot of weight for the role too, which I'm debating on doing, because I'm supposed to be in White Dragon, and I got to be all jacked and muscular for that. Usually I get down to about like 145 for the Joker, which is like super skinny, which I'm not a huge fan of doing, because it just
I hear you.
You don't eat. I'm 6 foot, so like 145 is not ideal.
How the hell?
Wow.
And then I get up to like 175 for like Nightwing and stuff. So
I'm 6'2", and I got down to 180, and I was literally like passing out from just lack of carbs, because I have a carb body where if I want to lose weight, I have to lift a high protein, low carb.
Yeah.
And it's like when it came to cardio though, I would just die. Oof. Oh man, that's the life though of an actor, You
just want to be committed to it. When I did Joker before, I was about 145, 147. But then when I do Nightwing, I'm like 178. So it's
that constant, like, trying to gain more weight, trying to lose a little more weight. It's just like I don't think people realize that it's more than just getting in front of camera and just doing a bunch of facial expressions and voices. Like, you have to like pretty much change your body like every single time to fit the role, and that can get really.
And you see it a lot in your face too. Like when I lose a lot of weight, my face gets way more gaunt looking, and like that adds like it gets deeper in here, and the crevices get deeper because you lose all the weight in your face, and that makes you look more like the Joker. Whereas Nightwing needs a much fuller face and stuff. So it's really like
your dimples pop when you were that small. And
Yeah,
and I saw when you did that smile, and it's like it's like, oh, dude, man. Oh, so a quick question though, as far as 6 feet down under, are you guys gonna finish that?
No, that's done.
Oh, dude,
Damn.
I love that. Oh man, like what about
I was hooked on that.
what about Guy? You talk to him still?
Guy Grundy, yeah, he was.
Grundy,
Guy's wonderful. I love Guy. Guy was since been in my last couple projects. He was Bane actually in Batman versus Killmonger.
Yeah.
And he was in this other little vampire project that I did, which will be coming out. And Guy's great. He was in Ninjak, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in your Michael Myers versus.
He's the prison guard in there. I thought that he was, you know, because Guy's real intimidating, but next to Michael Myers, he's not quite. And you know, Kevin Porter was Michael Myers in that.
I could not believe that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not coming. Okay, because like, I'm not gonna lie, I hated you in that movie 6 Feet Under because you were so good at playing the villain. I was mad. I was like, oh, like I just wanted to see you get whacked eventually in that movie because like as the character you played. Like,
I was the opposite. I was rooting for Aaron, like, because I love the bad guys.
Well, yeah, okay, but you did such a good job that you got me like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like when a villain does that, like it's like, ooh, because he was cheeky and everything he did. So, dude, like, did an amazing job, and I really wanted to kind of see what would happen. And like you said, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. At least I got my own closure now with this question that I'm asking.
Right? No, I appreciate that. I get told I play a good villain, but I hate playing the villain, though. It's just so the opposite. I guess you play your opposite, but I hate. I'd like to be Superman, but I just don't look like him.
I know what that's like. I can't play.
You do look like Quicksilver though, and that's what you know.
Oh, Quicksilver. Okay, I could race the Flash.
Well, that probably wouldn't end well for you, but
no, I know.
But then again, he does have some type of time hacks too when he gets that one item.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ish, but
Flash is just too OP.
Yeah, that's true. He really is.
Yeah. Well, I've always said since day one that you are the perfect Nightwing. You're the perfect Dick Grayson, and you've got that character down to a T. And for the longest time, it's always been hard for me to choose between you and Danny.
Yes. I enjoyed Danny's performance. I told him that. I said I really liked his performance in Nightwing. And then I auditioned for the Titan show.
Yes.
I went in an audition for that, which was cool. And Nightwing's always been kind of I really like Nightwing. To be quite honest, I'm probably getting too old to be Nightwing now, but
no.
I do like. Maybe we should have a Nightwing cameo in Dying is Easy.
Yes, I was going to ask that.
Yeah,
you could always do a post version spinoff. Just because you're not young, now doesn't mean you can't fulfill that other role. In the future of him.
That's true.
What happens? You could spin up a crazy story like, Cyborg's dead, right? And all these other people of the Teen Titan or whatever, like that type of thing.
We could. We could.
There's so much potential. You guys are smart. I know you can come up with it though.
Yeah, we're already planning a sequel to Dying is Easy that will probably launch the Kickstarter after that one. So.
Oh wow!
Absolutely.
Right on.
That'll probably introduce an original character because I kind of, it's like more of a murder mystery kind of, and I don't. If you know the villain, then you're gonna be like, oh, I know who it is. It's more fun to kind of have it like learn about that character as Batman learns about it. So we're gonna probably introduce an original character, and it'll be very detective driven.
That's very brilliant to inject original characters into your work because then you guys can own the rights to them too.
Right.
And that is actually going to push and carry you guys forever. It makes up a lot for, it goes on top of all the support you're getting from patrons, and stuff like that. So that's very nice. I like that, what you guys are doing. Speaking of that, do you own the comic store or is that like a group thing? Or a lot of times when you guys do your videos,
we filmed there a lot. We've been going there for 15 years, probably no longer than that. I'm just good friends with the owner, and we try out. But I don't. A lot of people think I own that store, which is
I did too. I'm sorry.
I did too, actually.
we don't. We don't. We just shoot there a lot. They're like, we're real close with them, and known them a long time, but we don't own them. I know a lot of people get like, why do you have Patreon when you own a comic store? And I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
I could see. I
Okay.
could see that. I could see that. I never once said that, but I could see that. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's not. In other words, in a sense, they were like, your cool cousin, uncle, place. And you went there, and they saw you when you were like this big. Now you're this big, and now they're seeing what you're doing, and they're like, "Yo, your family, come, yeah, that's cool."
Yeah, we shoot there whenever we want.
Man. I envy that.
That's awesome.
I envy that because my shop around here, the one is gone, and they remember me when I was a kid. But dude had to go, unfortunately. Like it just didn't work out, and it's like I don't have that place. That place after that was gone, it was just like crickets, So that's cool though, man. As long as people, I'm assuming it brings more business too.
Hopefully,
right?
yeah.
I'm sure it helps them, or her, whoever. But as a bonus. So that's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been good. That's real good. Real blessed to have that.
So did you have a question real quick, Ivan? Or
I actually did actually. I did have a question. So so I was just gonna ask, like, it's just kind of the top of my head kind of thing. Like, what was one of the hardest characters for you to get into? Like, was it actually Joker, or was it like Nightwing or whoever character you played as? Like, what was kind of the hardest to like get into character and stuff like that? If that makes sense.
Joker was probably the hardest. I have a better grip on it now. He's just a more in-depth, complex character, and you have to explore more of his acting. Like when you do Nightwing, it's a lot of fighting, so you can let that speak for yourself. But when it's Joker, you have to let the dialogue speak. Like you have to give him more. Like if you were to do like a big full Nightwing movie, obviously there'd be a lot of in-depth character study on that. But with the beatdowns, it's just he's just very one-dimensional. Where Joker has to be two-dimensional. And the character, my favorite character to do actually is really SpiderMan.
Yes.
And because I did the motion capture for him in the Spider-Man 2 game, and that's who I've always kind of liked, because I'm not like super bulky like Kevin is. I'm leaner, so I've always related to Spider-Man in that way. And he was like the cool nerd kind of, So I was like, all right. He's also just really positive and really happy. I also was the official Spider-Man for Stan Lee. So when we did conventions, I was like the Spider-Man that was next to him, and I got to know Stan because that's how we were able to have Stan in our beatdown.
That's sick.
That's an honor right there, man.
Absolutely.
But it's cool. Yeah, and that's why he wanted to be in the beatdown. He was like, I talked. He's, I'd love to be in the beatdown. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it was cool to have him admire my Spider-Man and like it and stuff.
Yeah, the scene where they smashed through it was like the ceiling or something, the window, and he was okay. My memory, like I said, I have a little bit of head injury, but my memory's a little bit gone from the army. But yes, I remember that. Yeah, he was. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Spider-Man's fun. I like his character. He, you do a high register voice. He's got the like, hey, Mr. Stark, how's it going? I'm Spider-Man. I love the new suit. Although, can I get another color because Aunt May's not a big fan of that? Do you have any gluten-free cupcakes? I'd really like some. Like, his voice is really up there,
He's ADHD. He's just he's hyper. He's a
teenager, kind of
hyperactive sensitivity disorder. If I had to put a label on him,
which is super enthusiastic, pretty much, right?
He goes.
He's enthusiastic, and his voice, everything goes up when he talks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I feel when he's Peter Parker, he's different, but when he's Spider-Man, he's very and I've been doing that version of Spider-Man for years, going back 10 years with Stan. So when I saw Tom Holland's, I was like, oh, that's really similar to the way I do him. So I enjoyed that. The weird thing is when you're in the suit, no one knows how old you are. But then if you take the mask off, then they're like, hey, you're 17, and I'll be like, well, also I'm not Spider-Man either, but
no.
So
it's just you're acting it, so it's just different. So I think I should be able to probably do Spider for a while, until I get too old to move like him. But
yeah, is Tom your favorite then, as far as the big screens go, or?
I'm not. I like different parts of each one of them. I still don't think they have the definitive Spider-Man yet. I was not a fan of Tobey. I liked his suit best. I liked Andrew's body type that I ended up doubling. I liked Andrew because he's the most witty out of all the Spider-Mans, but he was also a little too snarky. He was kind of like a jerk or an asshole in it, which I didn't like. And Tom Holland is probably the funniest, but he's not witty though. He's just nervously funny, you know. And these are all good things. But Spider-Man is like witty. He's actually clever. Like he's almost like a comedian in a way. And we've never really had Spider-Man, and like the animated series. You know, that was like, you know, the best. And he would always quip. You know, he was always quipping. You know, like like Spider-Man got cloned, and one of the guards was like, "Hey, there's two of them." And Spider-Man's like, "And they say the school system's failing." You know, like all this kind of like.
He's the ultimate offline troll. Like, he really is.
Well, I saw that in your. Excuse me, guys. Well, when I saw your Spider-Man versus Darth Maul, you got a lot of complaints. I saw those complaints that Spider-Man's not taking this seriously, and that's what people don't understand. Spider-Man can get scared and he can get nervous, but he uses his quips and his humor to kind of keep a steady head and try and diffuse the situation, because that's the last thing people are going to expect. This guy in a spider costume is making fun of you when he should be, you know, afraid for his life right now.
Yeah.
Right. That's distraction.
It's a defense mechanism in oneself too. There is some people that do that, like on the battlefield. Like people would make cheeky jokes, even though, like, in the face of danger, it's a coping mechanism. That's what he's done. You know, Captain, the guy from Serenity and Firefly. You know, Malcolm, or the actor. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He would be all cheeky and cracking jokes. It's how he copes with it at the time. Mm-hmm. And it depends on who's around him. You know, like some people can be like, "Why are you joking in a time like this?" But to him, it helps him cope with it.
Yeah, Spider-Man's. Yeah, a lot of people will get down on that, and they're like, "You're trying to do Deadpool," and I was like, "Spider-Man was the original doing
pretty
that."
Much, so.
Exactly.
Deadpool dropped when I was in like third grade in '93 or '94.
Right.
Well, he was a ripoff of Lobo, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is going to show how old I am.
Deadpool was never really chatty like that either.
Yeah, I've always considered Deadpool just a ripoff of Freakazoid.
Yeah.
I could actually get behind that.
I can see that. Yeah.
But when I read like the creator, I think they saw like they had a Lobo and they wanted to like have some. Marvel wanted somebody like them, and they made Deadpool. I could be wrong.
Well, they kind of changed it. Deadpool was ripped off of Deathstroke, and
Deathstroke.
But then Deadpool originally, when he came out, he was not super witty or funny. They made him that way. That was never his original intent.
Oh, okay.
The fourth wall breaking wasn't his original intent either.
I don't think so. I think they made them that later on. Like later in the 90s, he became that. But for all the people that were complaining about Spider-Man, I always be like, "Hey, man, this was all Stan Lee approved." So I was like, "I don't know what you want."
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you, Stan Lee? Don't do the character like I say, even though it's your character to do to begin with.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of Deadpool,
like, that's not how Spider-Man is. I was like, well, Stan Lee was the one.
I think his Spider-Man performance is fantastic. I'm like, I feel like, you know what, he's still young, but at the same time, it's like, he's in the face of danger. He's trying to, like you just said, trying to try to cope with himself, because he's just kind of a new environment, kind of in a way for him. Like speaking in terms of like when he just started, so it's like, okay, I gotta try to diffuse like my own like nervousness, my own fear, because I can't really do anything if I'm scared shitless. So it's just like it. But he also does it in a way that, is like people actually take him seriously, and that it kind of gets to his opponents too, because that's kind of like how they mess up, kind of gets them off balance, and then he just sneaks right in. So that
taunting is a move, and a lot of people say that, like, oh, blah blah blah. It's like, first off, you probably all never fought that are even making these comments. Second of all, if you look at like World of Warcraft and all these video games, you notice the warrior has a move called taunt. That's real. It actually does get in people's head.
Like Pokemon too,
It's a strategy in a real combative scenario. It really does work. It's not just your fist; it's your mouth and your mentality. And even like boxers say that too. Like once your mind's gone, you're gone too. But speaking though that you brought up Deadpool at the same time, my favorite episode of Superpower Beatdown was the 2v2. Domino, Harley Quinn, Joker, Deadpool. You guys did amazing with that episode.
I agree. Yeah,
that was by great. Far the. Oh my god! When you were next to Deadpool, making it rain and doing all that crazy, dude, like that was like the most justice that ever could be done to that whole. Like, it was great. Of course, you didn't
That's
walk away
fantastic, yeah.
that moment at the end, but that was, oh man, I think I either got the hiccups from laughing too hard, or I charfed a little from laughing. I have a sensitive stomach too. I had charfed. Something happened because I was just freaking out when I did that reaction to it, man. Like, it was just so amazing. And also, thank you, by the way, for letting us react to your videos. I just want to say that right now. I know.
Thank you.
Like, I don't take it for granted. I also, I support you on Patreon too. So, but it's just one of those things that it's so beautiful to see you guys create stuff that. And I know a lot of some outsiders, I should say a lot. Some could always be like, "Oh, you're just stealing someone else's, and you're making money off of someone else's IP." In a sense, it's like the bittersweet, maybe for lack of better words, is you all are making these characters even bigger than what they were before, and that's
Absolutely.
real. And I said this to the anime community that some of them draw fan stuff. It's like. Mm-hmm. For instance, I stopped watching Dragon Ball until a guy named Master Media started drawing anime war and stuff. And I got back into Dragon Ball now. And because of him, I spent hundreds of dollars on Dragon Ball because of him, right? And because of you, I actually started getting back into Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, DC, I know DC's your thing, but I love Marvel. But you got me back into it. Like, I do like Wonder Woman, though. I'm always down to watch her and Superman. Like, that's kind of my two things. But it's like, it's a bittersweet thing. And I just want to say, like, thank you. Because y'all do a lot of work, a lot of stuff. Like you said, the weight sacrificing, switching your body, everything. That's
real commitment, man. That's fantastic. It's beautiful.
It goes, especially when you're putting your whole channel and everything at risk. Because there's a lot of that gray area,
Yeah.
You guys catch a lot of crap. I'm sure. I don't know if DC, you know what I mean, like Warner Brother. I don't know. But
no, not too much. I mean, you
good.
never know. It could always change. I've worked with Warner Brothers before, and they've always been really cool. They like our stuff.
Okay.
And a lot of what our stuff does, it promotes the brand that we're representing. As long as you do it justice. That's how we end up working with Saban, and then we did Power Rangers for Street Fighter officially with Hasbro and Saban and Lionsgate, and then and we worked with Valiant officially, and they produced that whole feature film that we did. So. It just depends, and we don't really make any money off it because we spend so much money on the beatdowns. The beatdowns, costing between 20 to like almost 60 grand an episode. So when people are like, "Oh, you make a lot of money," and I was like, "Well," and now YouTube doesn't even make a lot of money. That's when we've done Kickstarters and Patreon, and people kind of get mad. They're like, "Why do we have to pay for this?" And I was like, "Well, you subscribe to you pay for Netflix and Disney Plus, right?"
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's the same thing, only. With them, they make money off it. I go, all our money just goes right back into the thing.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think back and I joke and I was like, man, I much prefer I'm an artist, so I much to come away with art. But I was like, man, instead of doing all these beatdowns, I could have just bought a house or something,
Yeah.
But I was like, no, but I want to I have all these beatdowns to show, and I wouldn't trade all those beatdowns for a huge house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as an artist and someone who grew up loving these characters, I was like, that's something that'll live and will bring. A lot of people joy, and people come up to me all the time. And they'll recognize me, which I think is such a strange thing because I'm not really in the series. I'm just kind of in a few of them. But people will I was walking around the other day, walking through my neighborhood, and this guy in his garage was like, "Aaron," and I was like, "What?" And I had my glasses on, I had my goatee. You can't tell my hat on. You can't tell it's me, but he's like, "I love your stuff, man." I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's cool. I'm glad, and I grew up. I don't know if I'm older than all you guys, but I don't know, maybe. But I grew up
I think I'm the same age as you.
Same age. Okay. So we grew up when
I'm
superheroes.
Probably the youngest.
So I grew up when superheroes were not cool, in school.
Yes.
And I remember when the X-Men animated series first came on.
Yep.
I remember when Batman the animated series came on. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, and no one, a lot of the people didn't think it was cool.
Nope.
So we live in this world nowadays where everyone thinks superheroes are cool. And as a kid, I was like, everyone thought superheroes were stupid, except for me and 3 people in high school.
Yeah.
So the goal of doing this stuff was to spread the growth of the community, because I was like, this shit's cool, man. We need to get more attention to it. But everyone's like, oh no, superheroes are cool, and I was like, not when I was a kid. When you saw an X-Men shirt as a kid, you were like, buy that shirt. I will never see another X-Men shirt ever.
It was the black sheep back then, pretty much.
You are locker stuff material. I remember that. I'm bigger, though. I'm 6'2", but still. I know exactly what I said. This in the last podcast we asked. Remember, I brought that up. I said the age I grew up. Here's the thing. Like, I grew up around Chinatown in Chicago, so I got into Dragon Ball back in the 80s and 90s, back when it's all subtitled. No one knew what Goku was. People were saying racist stuff, and yeah, Saturday X-Men, Saturday Spider-Man. I know exactly what you're talking about. We're both, obviously, based on what you said, we're both in our mid-30s. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
We both know we were the bridging gap that really we broke the mold and made it popular, and we'll never get credit. And we don't want the credit, but it's like when you try to explain it to a youth person coming at you, telling you like, "Oh, what is and what isn't," and then you try to explain that, and they just lash at you. It's like,
it's not even worth it with those kind of people. It's like, you guys know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's not, but you know what I mean? It's just like, damn, kind of sometimes it'd be nice to kind of get that respect. But at the same time, it's not about that. It's about just making it, everyone love it, right? We all at least can, at the end of the day, still love Joker, love Batman.
Absolutely.
Right? Love Superman.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm
not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not a massive superhero fan, but your Joker performance, it actually got me into DC a lot more, to the point where I'm actually reading comics online and playing a lot of the video games, etc. I was just like, holy shit, that was the best Joker performance. This was like Joker versus Negan,
yeah,
or whatever. Whoa, like I was like speechless for a good 5 minutes. Like, that was phenomenal, and I just got into comics right away. So I have to thank you for that, man. So you're absolutely right. Like, it really brings people. It really just, you're spreading it. Like, even the small worlds you were in, like, it just makes it even more massive impact than people who spend like lifetimes doing certain performances. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I think it's just because we get the characters. You know, a lot of us fans, you know, who actually really read them. You know, because I've worked with talk with studios about different characters, and I'm a lot of times surprised at how much they don't understand, because they're like, yeah, I read these 3 comics, I know this character, and I'd be like, there's so much more that goes into like this character, you know. Like I wasn't like, for example, like the Harley Quinn representation in the movies, I couldn't stand, because they just portray her as this dumb bimbo who gets lucky, and I was like, Harley Quinn's like a brilliant person. She acts all stupid, but behind the scenes she's brilliant. And what's weird is in today's like female empowerment, I was like, why don't you show that? Like, it's like, why are you only showing the stupid sides of Harley? And these studios, like, I'm like, you don't even understand your own character. And it's like, I was comparing, you should do superheroes the way that you do adaptations of real people. Like, I don't know if you watch Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis, you know, or Denzel Washington with Malcolm X. You know, you watch these movies where you have these actors, and it's like, we need to portray these real life people so well because they're real and they resonate. And it's not to devalue those people, because they're obviously huge in our culture, and our culture has been shaped by those people. But I was like, but a lot of people are fans of Batman, Superman, Spider-Man the same way. They're like part of their family. And I was like, and you got to know what you're doing. And it's so obvious to tell, you know, when someone doesn't know, you know, like the inner workings. They're just such minute detail. I don't know if you guys watch sports, but you'll watch people. I'm a really huge football fan, like hardcore football fan. And then you'll friends like, I like football, and I'll watch the game with them, and I'm like, you're not a football fan. I mean, yeah, you know what touchdown, you know what field goal. I was like, but you don't like. I'm like, if there's 1:50 to go and you have 2 timeouts, like, do you know what play they should be calling? You know, if they should run it, they should pass. And you don't have to know that, but when people front like they do, and it's very obvious they don't, to me, a lot of studios front like they know, and they're like, oh, we read the comic books, and we're big fans, but then you watch the movie, and you're like, I don't know what this is. This doesn't resonate with me, and I grew up loving all these characters, so, you know, you want to know, and you put it out there, all these just little nuances that they go, I remember that. That's from this, or that's from this, you know?
Yeah, that's what sucks, is that the people on top with the pockets, they get to kind of dictate all of that. And just because they saw one episode of a Saturday morning Spider-Man cartoon, now all of a sudden they're in charge, and they just take the name and they make some money out of it, but they also tarnish the reputation of it. And
it's a cash grab.
Yeah, it's to them it's quick money, and they pat themselves on the back. And the only reason they even made money to begin with was the name. If that wasn't even Spider-Man, if you would have called it like, I don't know, Mosquito Man or some crap, that would have flopped. It would have been terrible.
Right.
They wouldn't have at least broke even and made a little bit of change, and then they pat themselves on the back. So I totally understand what you're saying, and
absolutely,
I just wish like someday like they can get you up on the big screen, and I really want you to be as Joe. I'm telling you,
I really do too.
I'm not even ass kissing. Like, I've seen all the Jokers I've seen. I honestly really didn't, and this is me, and I know I'm probably stepping on your toes now. I really don't really enjoy any of them except the Heath Ledger. And I know you said you didn't really like that one, but
No,
like
he's okay. He's just not like the Joker. I felt Jack
Yes.
was more accurate to the comic books. I enjoyed Heath's performance.
Is Jack
don't
the
get me wrong.
latest? Was the Jack the latest one?
No, Jack Nicholson was with Keaton. 89. 89 Batman.
You're talking about the 90s old yeah, see, that's been so long. I honestly don't even remember that movie. And the latest movie, I didn't even see yet. So sorry about that.
Joaquin does a great job, but he's just not the Joker in it. It's just not.
No, he's a Joker,
He's the lead
but
up
he's
to
not
it
the
or something,
Joker.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But a
So-
good performance, though. Definitely a great performance.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
so hopefully with my
when I see-
Dying
when
is
I-
Easy Joker, we're gonna try to give new. It's because it's just 10 minutes of straight dialogue is what it is.
Yes.
Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
Because when I see you do Joker though, I see the comics. That's why I
Absolutely.
like your performance. Like the dimples, like you got that face, and then the things you do, and it's like I get goosebumps like when I watch you do it. Like I got goosebumps right now. You probably I don't know, my quality isn't the greatest.
Like just that
but I
massive
actually got
grinner,
goosebumps when I think about that performance, and it's not it's because it's real. Like I see that, and I just Of course, I don't have the powers that be, but it's like I just want to kick down Hollywood and be like, "Look, this is your Joker. You take him, do something."
Start a petition or start Twitter raging at Warner Brothers. You never know. I was trying. They were going to cast. I was trying to get into Titans. They were supposed to have Joker on Titans, and I was like, everyone should just tell them to.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if you want to start an
Yeah.
organization, I think it's good. I mean, because listening to the people is the best thing people could do. Look what Sonic did. They actually listened to the people. So if we can get Warner to do that and get you on there, like I know you would just kill it. Like
that would bring
It's a guarantee kill it, yeah.
a big smile to my face.
because we don't do that. He's got.
I love that.
He's got that. It's just.
Yeah.
It's like
That's perfect, man.
It's there. Like I don't even got a fraction of that type of like anything to represent when I'm imitating another thing. Like I can't do that. I can voice stuff, sure, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I know we did speak before. You said you were limited on time. I don't.
It's like two more questions, and then I can bounce.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think anybody even asked questions in the crowd. I did have two myself, but I don't want to steal from Ivan and Richard. So
you can make them rapid fire, and I'll knock them out for you guys.
Okay, yeah. Well,
All right.
I was one of the people who supported Batman Dying is Easy, so I guess no problem. I've supported you guys since I was in middle school.
Cool.
So I'm a way old school fan, if you can believe that. But
Nice.
I do have a question. With Batman Dying is Easy, and I went back and I played Batman Arkham Origins, and I'm wondering what can you tease? What can you tell us about this that is going to make it say different from City of Scars? Because that was also about Batman and Joker's relationship, but it was tackling, what would have happened if Batman did kill him, but he didn't. So what's going to make this psychological thriller different in terms of their relationship?
The story takes place in 3 locations, and it's mostly in Arkham. It's mostly a conversation. It's really Batman and Joker get into it dialogue-wise, exploring each other's placement in each other's lives, while trying to get information. While there's obviously a threat the Joker has proposed. Something that in all the Batman movies, Batman doesn't really talk a lot. And he doesn't talk a lot in the comics, but he does talk more in the comics, and all comics are narrated by Batman, because Batman is unlike Hulk or anything like that. Batman's probably the most sophisticated in the way that he thinks and talks, and most interesting. So it's like in all the Batman movies, we never get to understand his brain, and Batman's the most interesting character. Like whenever people, they said they love the Nolan franchise, they're like, except for Batman, he's the most boring character in that movie. And I was like, but Batman's the most interesting character. Why is he the most boring? And I want to get to know him. And the great thing is with Kevin, that's why I mentioned his voice earlier, is that Kevin does such a great Batman voice. And what I mean by that is some people can I'm doing a voice and whatever, but it's just this loud yell. And I was like, how do you make a voice? Even like Keaton, who I liked his Batman voice better than Bale's or probably anyone else live action. It still is like a voice where Kevin's able to actually put on this voice as if where it's his regular voice. So he's able to talk as Batman and not sound forced. So you can have this conversation and go, wow, I can listen to Batman. I can hear him. He's expressing his thoughts. I'm getting into that window of him. And that's why Kevin's voice is so important to what he brings to the character. A lot of people compare him to Kevin Conroy. I think he's better than Kevin Conroy, just because he's bigger, has a bigger chest, more guttural sound. No disrespect to Kevin Conroy. I love Kevin Conroy.
Well, and like you said, the dialogue he delivers is arguably a little better because if you guys were to do your take on the Killing Joke, I think Kevin could do the dialogue even better than Conroy or anyone else could.
It's just because he's bigger. Kevin, the only thing is, like, generally with bigger people, they have a bigger rib cage and they have bigger, like, because Kevin Conroy, I think, is like 5'10". He's a smaller guy. So he has to put on a voice where, like, Kevin's voice is just, that can be like his voice. And he's also just this big, it's really cool to have him on set in full costume because he is just Batman. He's just this live action, huge Batman. And I get kind of giddy at sometimes because it's like, oh, you're like real life Batman. And he's massive. Kevin's so freaking broad. He's like this huge human being. I actually look very small next to him as Joker. I think I look too small next to him.
We gotta get those computer graphics out. I gotta make you a little bit taller.
Make it a little bigger, because like we did one thing. I was like, Kevin, can you lift me up? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And I was like, okay, great.
Can you put me down now? I was just testing the waters.
Cool. So, but he's great, and that's like I think we're gonna explore a lot of just that interesting conversation. I wanna have that. Just really what's inside their brains, how crazy are they, what are they after, playing cat and mouse,
Yes.
So that's kind of what it's going to be. There'll be a lot of that, I guess. Very psychological. Awesome. Very psychological, very cat and mouse in terms of like a mental chess match.
Yes, I love those type of stories. I think those are the type of stories that live action Batman films just still and haven't captured. So I very much am happy that you guys have been doing that for almost 2 decades because, you guys get it. You guys know what defines these characters and everything is not taken for granted. Like the little details in Batman and Joker's relationship. You guys kill it. So I'm very excited as a supporter to see how Batman Dying is Easy comes out, and I can't wait to see what you guys got.
Can't wait. Yeah,
we're excited. It's gonna visually be really. We're gonna do a lot of visual things with the characters that you see in the comics that we haven't seen in the movies, and we're hoping to give Batman his white eyes as well.
Oh,
nice.
Yes,
that's sick.
Those two going back and forth with the whole psychological thing is cool. It sometimes almost makes you want to root for Joker. It's kind of weird, but I don't like to say that too loud because some people go, "Are you evil?" Or
no, it's true though.
He's
the villain that you love. He's the villain.
He says some stuff. You're like, wait a minute, that shit actually makes sense.
It's like Joker is a character where even when he tells a joke. You shouldn't laugh at it, but you end up laughing at it because it's either delivered well or you just love how
what we're all thinking or something.
How he takes himself.
Yeah. So another question I had too. I know we're running short here. As far as collabing with other channels, have you heard of Robot Underdog 2 or no? Robot Underdog 2.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
They made the Dragon Ball Light of Hope.
Oh,
those guys, yeah.
With what? I'm sorry.
Amy Johnston, she was like the female robot.
17? 18.
Wait, you talking about Kimberly from Power Rangers? She played
No.
Oh.
No, Amy Johnston's she was Harley Quinn. She's Scarlett Johansson's stunt
double.
I think she was the female in that. So
okay, yeah. I'm thinking Amy Jo Johnson. Sorry.
I've never talked with them. I saw part of it. It looked really good.
Yeah, because
we collabed a little with Ishmahawk. We did a little. We had him as Tim Drake, and we had him as Nightcrawler. He was a great Nightcrawler. And then Who else? I know someone wanted us to reach out to Star Wars Theory because I heard they said they spent way too much money on their film, way more than we spent.
They made that crazy when they got taken down, but got brought back up because of the backlash. And George Lucas actually stepped in and said, "Put that shit back up." I remember. That's what I'm thinking of.
So,
you know, Robot Underdog too, though. Like that would be a really cool collab if y'all can do that because they're amazing with Dragon Ball effects and stuff. If y'all ever want to put them in a superpower beatdown, you know, I think it kind of to bring more, you know, some of the anime heads in. Guys' world.
I think that'd be a great idea, actually.
You know, and another quick question is this a simple yes or no? Is like, are y'all ever thinking of going on like a Comic-Con tour to join the Rousters? You know how like Jason.
We should. They want us to. I'm not a big fan of traveling actually.
Fair enough.
I'm so busy all the time that it's nice to be home. But I do a lot of LA cons. Obviously, this year everything in 2020 is canceled. But we usually do WonderCon, LA Con, and I've done San Diego Comic Con. This would have been my 25th year in a row if it was here. So.
I don't live nowhere near you, so I live in central.
So I would do it if like we've been trying. I know Jason JDF was telling me that I should do it, and he whenever he talks to con promoters, he's always like, everyone's asking for you, Aaron. They want Batinthesun.
Cool.
I was like, okay, I guess. So
Ghost.
That's my duck. But anyways, yeah. Hold on one second, Allie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it'd be fun though. I'd love to meet the fans, and it's fun to do that. So
absolutely,
awesome.
I definitely would come there. You know, if you show up in my neck of the woods for sure. So
cool.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate you having me, guys.
Yeah.
No,
And,
thank you.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, it was great to talk to you, and just see that you guys are still doing better than ever.
Absolutely.
And you're just putting out all these awesome projects, and you're keeping it going. You're keeping that fire burning. So thank you.
Thank you, and I recognize your voice, Richard. So I have seen your video, so I do recognize.
Oh, thank you.
You won't forget him once you hear him.
Yeah,
exactly.
That I know. And I will be doing a review of Batman Dying is Easy when it comes out because that is something I'm looking forward to.
Cool, good, thank you. I watch all your reaction videos. I really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you.
So, they're a lot of fun to watch. So when people are like, Aaron, if you're watching, I probably am.
Yeah,
nice.
Sorry for mine. Sometimes I take a shot before I watch some stuff.
I
have a lot of comical effect to start saying some cheeky shit, so I apologize if I come off harsh. But
cool.
that 6 feet one though, I was like, I hate that. Like you were that bad guy. I was like, you dirty mother.
We'll do a detailed reaction of White Dragon and Dying is Easy.
We will definitely.
So
absolutely. You already know
absolutely we will.
Thank you, and I know you got to get going. So
cool, guys.
Thank you so much for your time. Really, it's an honor to meet you.
Cool, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you too, man. You have a blessed one.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.
You too, bro.
Bye, Aaron.
All right, everybody. So there y'all have it. We had him here as a guest, and I'm assuming you two had a great time with him.
Yeah, I've had a great time. He's so cool.
I've been waiting to meet him most of my life, actually, since
I'm glad
since
we can
I
do that
saw.
for you, man.
Yeah, since I saw his Batman Beyond fan series back in the old days.
Yeah, I know you're a huge fan of Batinthesun, so I for sure. Unfortunately, Duo couldn't make it.
I know, yeah.
It happens to be his anniversary today. It's like, ooh.
That's
no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how is he going to tell his wife? But honey, it's Batinthesun. I mean,
and they've recognized him. They've loved his support since for like what, maybe a decade now. So he's got some respect with them. So
I know. And we got a day in. He's a busy cat. Obviously, we know that, and we finally got him in, and everything. And it's like, oh no. I feels bad. But
absolutely.
It's still a great time though. Like the fact we got to spend as much time with talk to him as we did is still amazing. It's not every day you get to do stuff like this.
And I'm sorry.
Oh no, especially during these times. You take things like this. You take it as a huge win.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I know you all had some questions.
Yes.
It was one of those things though. He was already on a very tight schedule, and we put him into overtime already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The one question for sure I wanted to get out was about him actually going on a tour, and he confirmed it. He said he doesn't like traveling, but even Greek Tommy, the Green Ranger, Jason David Frank, is trying to push him to do it. So perhaps he's gonna get up one day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take that, and then
yeah.
if we can get Titania. You know that Wonder Woman chick and Guy Grundy's in Australia though, so I don't know how that works. But if he could come too, like all of them, and they're all at that same booth, you could run up on them. Oh,
I mean, they could. They've even premiered their stuff at cons before. So if they get Dying is Easy and White Dragon done, then that would be awesome to see at a convention.
It's also one thing to comment based on the conversation we had. That's nice to see that they're getting treated really well with Seven, aka the owners of Power Rangers, Warner Brother, because I hear horror stories with Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah.
They're obviously probably maybe. I don't want to say they're taking the right steps versus others aren't, but either way, I'm just happy to hear. For once, I'm gonna say it that way, and that's honest though. This part, positive corporation treating the fan service. Well, because a lot of times I hear the opposite.
It's always the opposite,
So I'm just gonna say it that way, and I don't want to jinx. I'm just saying that was cool when that was beautiful.
I'm friends with a couple of people at Warner Brothers, but as somebody who has gone on the, I can justify those horror stories because they put me through them.
I think your main channel got whacked probably because of that.
Yeah. Well, they didn't like my reactions. They tend to not like other people's reactions. They don't care about crowdfunding, but they're very stingy. But they're not as bad as Sony or Universal. But they're not clean. But I am happy they're cool with Aaron and everything because that's always been my concern. It's like, okay,
that's a huge
has
plus
Warner Brothers has Warner Brothers reached out to you? Like, have they liked your shit?
Yeah.
Because
that's why I want to ask that question, for sure.
Understandable.
Kind of cooked up. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be.
I'm mainly surprised that they're cool with Saban because Saban is a very they're very picky on their Power Ranger fans and projects.
That Asian realm, like Japan, all them in general, their mentality of copyright is completely different than ours. They straight up even say the name Goku. They're like, what? That's my property.
Exactly.
How to draw Goku? That's my property. How dare you?
Nintendo, Japan. Nintendo Japan, they're even more ruthless. They're like,
Way
what?
more.
You're posting a gameplay clip of you playing our game? Get rid of that shit.
Exactly.
and then they're like, okay, you can play it, but you got to give us like 80% of your money.
What?
That's true. What they do.
I understand though, because there's millions of hours of labor put into making that game, and someone could watch it for free. But to be fair, a lot of the viewers watching it can't even play the game yet because they're little kids. And they will grow up though to like that product.
Oh yeah.
For instance, like my nephew loved watching Mario videos, right? And Pac-Man, stuff like that when he's a kid. Now that he's older, what did he do? Spend hundreds of dollars on Mario and Pac-Man. That wouldn't happen if he didn't see those videos. He wouldn't even know it existed. Maybe one of his friends, if he went to their house and he saw them play it, okay, sure. But in today's world, it's not the same as, remember, like Aaron said. He said, me and him, I guess right away, I said, we're both in our mid-30s. And he's like, yep. It was different times back then.
Oh, yeah,
Back then, going over to someone's house without calling them was normal. You could just, because there was no internet. Well, there's no internet. There was no cell phone.
Yeah, but these days, these days everybody's protective. Even an act of kindness can be seen as
malicious.
As somebody faking it. Like people don't believe.
Intent,
people don't believe that there are kind people out there.
Yeah.
anymore.
It's just like it's just they need more of that verification. But like, okay, are you really legit? Are you really saying what you're saying? You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
it's hard to judge that. But like, you really have to like kind of convince them. Well, sometimes you
absolutely.
should, depending on the situation, where you have to convince somebody. If you're just some random ass person, like I need to like let me study you a little bit before I decide to do anything, even just to become friends with you. That's just like
wolf in sheep's clothing, though.
well,
It's
yeah.
one of those things. Every time today, you're really taking a gamble. People's just up their game of
Russian roulette.
Paranoia. They are up in their game. Like before,
It's Russian roulette every day.
I know trustworthy, but because of all the crazy people in the past have ruined it for all the good people in the future. It's just like everything.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like now you can't buy this gun, I guess, for the sake of the argument, because of this idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that.
Oh yeah.
That ruins it and does bad stuff for the rest of us good stuff people. Like
Yeah.
You are right, Iris. Yes, Nintendo did fix that now with Nintendo. Just for the record, yes, we did not add that, so I guess that was kind of out of context. Thank you though for bringing that up. And yeah, no, I had a good time, everybody, and I think this is where we could probably wrap it up, right? I'm sure.
Let's wrap it up.
After Dark, was that tonight? No, actually, no, it wasn't. Actually, if it was, it has to be in like not even an hour, because I have my LAN party going on in about 2 hours for me, so I don't even have a lot of time. Yeah, everybody. Sorry, everybody. I was listening to the crowd. If you guys want to join that After Dark Cards Against Humanity, you guys will see a notification come up. We guys will definitely tweet it. We'll tweet it for you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Richard can join. If you can, great. If not, great. You know, and Ivan.
I'll be there.
Yeah, no. Definitely hit me up next time. And yeah, no, today it's kind of a chill day for me. But yeah, no, definitely next time, because I've been meaning to come back.
It's next week.
Fair enough.
Remember, this is Easter weekend, so no, it isn't this week.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
Okay, then yes, next week I'll be there.
Animation Rewind will be with us as well.
Nice.
Okay, cool. For a third time, my goodness.
Third time.
I know, right?
You're getting him more than I am.
I was just gonna say, like, I hope you could the third time, because we read a little bit raunchy in our last episode, but it was still a great time.
Jorge is a good sport, I think. He's cool.
He is.
He's cool. I hope he doesn't mind me calling him his name in Spanish.
Jorge, Jorge's dope.
He didn't seem to matter, but at the same time, I probably should ask him behind the scenes. You know,
AR's he's the real deal. He's
a great guy.
He's probably one of the most genuine people. Him and Devil Artemis.
Great people.
The top two I've met, and then obviously Aaron. Now we've met. Now I can't do a full analysis, but seems pretty cool. You know, but
absolutely
for sure.
Devil Artemis, especially, like, that dude is super genuine. I was like, God damn, this man, like, he's not like I would like to like I would chill with. You know what I mean? Like those kind of people.
I'm not. Yeah, I talk too much, I think, so I annoy people. That's why.
No, it's all right.
You're good, man. You're good.
I do that too.
I mean, in person though. Right now, we're entertaining as podcasters, but when you take the mic off and the camera off, people don't expect. People want you to not talk as much. At least
same.
At least my friend circle, they get annoyed with me, and that's why I stopped hanging out with people. I'm like, well, if you don't like me for me being me, then I don't want to be around you.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't mean it in a mean way. It's just like I'm just making it easier for everybody else.
No,
I don't want to be that guy that just like gets yelled at randomly.
Yeah,
like,
we all have our own little quirks. You know, it's what makes us human.
And I don't mind that talking. You know, to me, it's like. I thought that was the point of us hanging out, is we're all going to talk, and
it's all about being flexible
instead of just staring at each other with fucking crickets. You know. Anyways, you guys, you'll probably wrap it up. I think at this point.
Yeah. Now's good.
Yes. Thank you all for joining this podcast, episode 10 of season 4. Yes. And next weekend, though, for sure, with AR, aka Animation Rewind, we will be doing that Cards Against Humanity. We're gonna get Richard Corconoy back. Hopefully, maybe we can get Duo Dreamer as well, his best friend, one of my favorite cats I look up to, an inspiration to be a good person. And obviously, Ive Animal, I'm sure, can probably drop in as well. And we'll probably have
definitely drop in.
Probably have a few more cats coming in, y'all. So, join us. By the way, it's going to be non-PG friendly, because if you don't know what Humanity is, you can look it up, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Anyways, y'all, take care, and we are out.
Peace, everybody. Stay awesome, and we'll see you guys later.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
See you guys later.
I'm gonna end that broadcast.